Bright is in the spotlight, uh, a very bright spotlight in the moment, and uh, I mean, if we do that, that'd be kind of a big tech upgrade, I think, Dark Wolf. I'm not opposed to it, but to get a server set up for that and have it dedicated and such.
You
That
know,
can go on a
we
wish
just
list.
do
I'm not
that
against it.
after we get my chair. That'll be the next. That'll be the next office
It's
upgrade.
alright. If need be, I can tell you guys how to host it on the cloud and save you guys the thing of buying a server rack.
All right. I'm gonna represent the finalish moments of last week because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page and to make sure that things have that we know where things are, and not only where but also when things are. Pardon. So Bright had gone into the large reflecting pool in the middle of this mountaintop monastery and was in a process of having answers, finding questions, and um, it was a moment of self-reflection in a place that is a reflection of oneself. Meanwhile, the three above were trying to look in on her or communicate to help or were concerned. And Norallie once more overdosed on magic and is just sort of a twitching Magikarp beside the pond. There was a moment of clarity, or however you'd want to describe it, in that pool where Bright did the thing that she was there to do, which was to find Merkuri and or Tam, which couldn't be done through normal means. And so through this concentration of magic, or this other approach to casting it, or somewhere in between an entire Venn diagram of possibilities, she found a center, she found herself, and she found, by not finding where Merkuri was, she saw everywhere that Merkuri wasn't. And thus, she not quite teleported, but at incredible speed, manifested, streaked across the land, seeing all manner of maybe former or current civilization, various biomes. Speaking of Minecraft, forests with interesting trees maybe she hadn't seen before, but in the moment that didn't necessarily matter. Mordecai, who is the last one to watch Bright, ended up hitching a ride while being tied to his body at the edge of this reflecting pool through a mysterious silver cord. But in the process, after Bright had found herself in the capital city of the Shadahar Empire itself to the far northeast, was torn away and sort of reeled back into his body after Celine had discovered this interesting phenomena of being stationary but also displacing yourself to have movement without needing to move yourself, or at least your body. The emergency call was put in after some strategizing of what do we do, how do we get there, do we risk teleporting, because as with things like scrying, it's not a guarantee because of interference from Shonaroth, the Great Old One, that has been a burgeoning, metastasizing nemesis across the lands of Mesotopia. And and also, well, not just divination, but teleporting would get you into some hot water. Through communication with Professor Cypherius, he said there's a thing that Celter / the Repentless can do. Get ready for it, and we can be there. We can be there soon. And in that moment, or there about that moment, for everyone but Celine, time had frozen. So there was no more twitching from Norallie. There was no more worry from Mordecai, since those were things that in that moment weren't happening. But Celine, you seem to be slightly disjointed from this time freeze. And in so doing, you saw a very weird sight where the Repentless itself, in like a miles long streak, just was manifesting an approaching impossibly long being from its location to just above the monastery. And in that time as well, you had Regal, who is the head monk of the monastery and a celestial, much as you are, began a ritual. And during that ritual, I can play the background music for it too. A bell was rung and monks were summoned to surround the pool. The pool began to ripple as Regal began a chant. The other monks picked it up, and this energy, this life force from the monks, was drawn up and out of them and channeled through what you had learned was one of the 3 lost princes of Shadahar from antiquity. The surface of the pond itself began to rise from itself, and in a near perfect circle, wasn't just rising but also reorienting to not be a horizontal surface but a vertical surface. The crew boarded the Repentless, and as the monks' life force was used in whatever this was, the Repentless, well, Regal told you you shouldn't be here, and uh, as much as it might sound like a dismissive thing or even an insult, it also seemed to be how you got to where you were, because you shouldn't be where you were, as you were needed elsewhere. The Repentless headed through this skein, this liminal skein in between, as a as if you were a needle passing through 2 ends of a large cloth. And in that moment, because the ends of the cloth were pinched, you were able to travel from one end to the next, despite there being a truly vast distance between where you were and where you are now. So a great sacrifice of the monks of the monastery, through the belief that Regal has in you all, and itself channeled through someone like him, as Celine. You ended up over Shadahar. Now, Mordecai, this was about as far as you got, having traveled over the countryside and into the city before you were torn away. You couldn't take it any longer, or you reached the end of your silver cord or something. And any other questions of what did the monks do, what happened, why, how did the Repentless end up here in a moment? All of that is held aside as time has paused. for everyone but Bright, as now simultaneously, but also in the future, even though it's the last thing described as if it was in the past, Bright tearing through this world, manifesting a singular, just as a singularity herself, having reached some great depth that might also have been an epiphany, stands as she is inside an eerily similar lab to that which you found in Oiho. Almost a one-for-one replica that was inside the tower, over which you drove through a hellscape in a machine. It's even the first place that you met Tam, as she had risen up from a mountainside you were passing and went on to harry you in your race to the tower. And making your way through, this is where you had discovered that Norallie still lived. A child in peril, subject to the whims and machinations of not just a fiend, the fiend. The patron herself, Miss Merkuri, among probably countless other names. And unbeknownst to Merkuri, Bright stands in this lab, seeing a reduced form of Tam, seeing the child emperor of a distant foreign empire, both subjects of her mad scheme. And a woman, an entity, something, a someone, whatever, whoever she is. This has been what she has done for a very long time. Nobody and nothing thus far has gotten in her way, and she's torn through many a people, including her very own foremost warlock, that of Grimhilder, using her as some disposable thing, just so that she can take one more step forward. And here in this moment, in this super slow motion, where Miss Merkuri is just about ready to transfer all the power of this thing, this creature, a dragon with 5 heads, something born of Oiho, of these foul experiments that created Abby and others like him, in the depths of Oiho, through the machinations of Merkuri. And of course, from what you've learned, she's had a bit of a reputation with the dragons of yore. But here, Bright sits on a precipice of saving Tam, the wife of Kazimir, a former member of Chroma Company, and a possible ally in the fight to come with Shonaroth. Or does she move to save the Emperor of Shadahar? A foreign distant land, maybe at worst a warring state. At least, perhaps an innocent child caught up in something far beyond what he ever could have hoped for or imagined. And so here, as in painfully slow motion, but it still seems to be happening all too quickly, Bright, your gift, your ability to divine, is becoming proactive in this moment, not reactive. It's not as if something bad has happened and you need to try and force to force a course. You, as this, you are getting to decide what will happen here. Do you deny Merkuri a massive source of energy? Or do you deny Merkuri a meat puppet that can wield the might and intellect of many, many people, of magics that are super destructive, and of technologies that threaten that of any other known civilization? Chroma Company is outside this place, having just arrived. Having the airships that are circling the palace take notice. But that's for them to worry about, Bright. That's for them to wonder or care. You are here and you are now, and you get to decide who will be saved and who will be damned.
Well, when you put it like that, I never really have. So, can anyone hear me at all? Or am I the only one who's here?
You, in this moment for you, you can talk to yourself, but what's happening around you is, it is not stopped. It is very slow motion, but it is this. As the DM, I'm telling you, you have time to think out loud if you want to speak or externalize things. But there is an inevitability. You are reaching this moment of destiny or fate or something, however you want to classify it. So you can, as Bright, you can express yourself to a point where then you make the decision.
Okay, well, this is kind of fun. It's like the whole world is a quick time event for me. Just for a minute here. I better push the square button. So given that I can move so fast, run around a little bit. Okay, run over to the Emperor. I want to take a look at him. So you can't hear me, Mr. Emperor, right now, because even if you could hear me, it would just be like a really high-pitched buzzing sound, probably, because of the difference in time. So I don't expect you to understand this, but I think it's not very nice how the Shadahar just invaded, and you didn't even tell us why you were coming, or anything like that. And if we'd known what was going on up here, with the weather and all that, we probably could have all worked together. And if we'd worked together, we probably would have had an easier time of it. That's what I just keep telling everyone, is that we just need to work together. We have bigger problems. We can't afford to all be killing each other all the time. And you don't look very old. I mean, if you were just a little, I don't know, you look just. There's a lot of people where I come from that we take care of that look like you, or at least we're going to. And why are you in your situation and they're in theirs? You're not any older than they are. You didn't do anything, I don't think. And I know that tieflings don't even live that long, so. I mean, this is. I know you didn't create the situation that we're all in, that's what I'm telling you. But I wish you hadn't. I don't know. I don't even know if you're responsible. There's probably a cabal or a council or a vizier. You have to watch out for viziers, they're always bad. And I'm sure that our regents are much better than viziers. I know that it's got to be somebody like that who's causing all these problems. And I'm really sorry that this is what's going to happen to you. But there's nothing we can really do about that right now. So anyway, I wanted to say this. I hope you have time to hear it, because Winky Face, you're probably not going to have time to do very many other things. Okay, bye. I'm going to go over to Tam.
Okay. Yep.
That's my high-speed running. Tam, you I feel like we got off on the wrong foot, the wrong talent. I think we got off on the wrong talon. What with you chasing us out of Oiho and all that, I don't feel like that was necessary. But Kazimir's a friend of ours. We know that Kazimir really likes you. He was always a dragon hunter, and it looks like he finally caught one, so that's good. Um, but anyway, um, I'd like to get to know you better. Um, and I just I feel like there's more of a part that you still have to play. And I'm gonna go over to Merkuri. Hey, quit! Stop moving slowly while I'm talking to you. I mean, we could have. I don't understand why you have to be like this. We fought together. We could have all fought together against Shore Reef too. And it wasn't even so bad. And you had nice boots, even though they're made of leather.
Mm.
But you get used to that when you're someone like me in the wider world. Okay. Anyway, I hate to throw a wrench into all your plans. Actually, no, I don't. I'm really happy to throw a wrench into all your plans. So, what's up? Huh, and it sounds the same to you as it does to the Emperor. I'm going to go over to the Emperor one more time and say, we never even really learned your name. Then I'll go unplug Tam from the machine.
Okay. You disconnect Tam from whatever this rigging, this machinery is, and time returns to normal. Merkuri, with a grin on her face of what might look like actual satisfaction. Not necessarily the evil mwahaha, I've won, but she actually seems happy with this. Though that moment passes, because as her body begins, which was already, in comparison to how you've seen her before, not quite as bright or flickery in flame or lightning, but her facial expression changes to that of, from delight in manifesting and doing something that she had planned. And before she disappears through the machine, she sees you, Bright, and her face turns to shock, confusion, and outrage. 3 separate emotions in all but a fraction of a second. As she disappears, the Emperor cries out, and there's a flash. However, there is no power drained from the battery here to the right. The energies that created or were stored or are possessed of Tam are not a part of the equation. There's a very bright flash, one that can be seen from the rest of the Chroma Company, hovering by the Imperial Palace. And as such, that also means that the airships outside see this bright flash, a crackle of lightning. Not quite an explosion where things have been blown out, but something very obviously has happened with such intensity that it leaked out of the palace. Merkuri is no longer manifest bodily. Stepping from the chamber, however, is the Emperor. What have you done? He, or Merkuri, cry.
You're muted.
So technically, all I did was unplug that cable there. It really wasn't all that much. You should get one of those little latches on your cables.
No latch cable.
No matter. You can't stop me. Nobody can.
I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that point. Yeah, definitely gonna have to disagree. We're gonna go ahead and cast a hold monster.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to prove the whole can't stop me kind of thing, I'll stop that by stopping her.
Okay. That is successfully manifested on Emperor Merkuri.
Yeah. So, there's a story that I keep telling people. It wasn't really in this context, but it seems to be oddly similar, and I keep telling people. It's not you. You die, and a demon sets up shop in your body, and it looks like you, and it remembers your life, but it's not you. And I wonder if this is how that all got started. I don't know. We'll find out. So, nod your head if you can hear me, or don't nod your head if you can't move.
The face of the tiefling scrunches up with an initial struggle against your magic, and then relaxes.
Well, that's good.
Looks at you and shouts using thaumaturgy to have it echo as far as and wide as possible. Guards!
Oh, not
There's
this.
there's an
Really?
issue with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're paralyzed.
Yeah,
You
paralyzed,
Have
you
no
can't use
and
it.
you can't speak either. No verbal and no somatic components. What are you casting thaumaturgy with?
I tried.
I was actually gonna let him/her do that, but yeah, I mean, if you want to be stickler for the rules, probably couldn't. But
Yeah, I was about to say. I was pulling up.
That's fine. You can
Machine.
just poop on this dramatic moment. I don't care.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I
Poop
wanted
on the
to have-
dramatic moment.
I wanted to have last minute monologuing. I mean, you always have to have fill-in monologue, and I wanted to
Absolutely.
do it. We could find out which of us has the better monologue.
I mean, it depends. Does Mercury have telepathy? Because I mean, if there's telepathy, there's easily a space to monologue. Can't stop that.
You have 1 minute of holding the Emperor. What do?
Okay, so just to clarify, guards or no guards?
No guards.
Currently, you have 60 seconds until that changes.
Okay, so, I said a whole bunch of stuff while I was in fast motion, or you were in slow motion, or we were in different motions. But basically, I just wanted to say that we could have always worked together. We could have worked together in Oiho. I know that's not how we do things down there. Nobody ever works together except under duress, because that's just how they do things. But up here, we do things differently. People can work together just because they want to. We've all got Shonarif to deal with, and I know you want to fight him, and I want to fight him, and everybody wants to fight him, and yet here you are, killing emperors and absorbing the power of dragons and all this villain stuff. It's really not necessary. I think you had enough power as it was. Also, you had better boots.
Was that it? You have 10 seconds left.
Oh, I've got 10 seconds? Well, it's going to take me 6 seconds to cast Disintegrate.
All right. Well, then, you not only monologued, but you have 4 seconds to spare after your,
Wow.
all right, then. This is this
An automatic fail.
all or nothing? Or, it's an automatic fail because of the paralyzation?
Mhm. I mean, unless there's unless some sort of legendary resistance, but
Oh, no. No, Mercury is spent and very much in just occupying a mortal body.
Goodbye.
So you say this, and there's just this fury, and maybe to some extent, I'll at least get a little bit of what I wanted in, because it looks like as your spell was weakening towards the end, maybe the Emperor was mouthing something, like 10 seconds, with this pained look of unrepentant malice on his face, and then you cast Disintegrate, and in a moment, well, several, but in a moment, the body dusts, and as the paralyzation is released, we can go back to kind of a slow motion. There's just the Emperor is falling back and is dusting before your very eyes, and to the last, there's a burning look of hatred in the Emperor's eyes, caused by Mercury, who you have gotten rid of. There was no flash of escaping light, no lightning, no soul fires or teleporting. There's now just what do you do in this moment after?
Yeah. So I think the thing to do is run over to Tam and see how she's doing. After making sure that the dust isn't like swirling around and reassembling itself.
Nope. It's kind of like it's a cloud of dust in part, so it's settling, but it's not moving, it's not reassembling.
Okay. Settling
you
is
kick
okay.
it if you want,
it's
but
reassembling. No,
I
I mean, I'm sure the janitor will come in and sweep it up, but I'm really, I don't know, kind of bummed. Just so hard to find allies in this world. Mercury could have been a good ally. The Emperor could have been a good ally. Didn't come here to
Disintegrated
kill
her.
anybody.
Look, I was expecting a ganking, but I was not expecting this.
So Tam,
Well, speaking
Since
of
we don't have
allies,
anything left to revive.
number one, I want to make sure you're doing okay, and number two, don't make me disintegrate you. Because I'm in the mood for disintegrating right now.
the form, which again is reduced in size greatly from the last time you've seen her. It's bigger than you, but it's not even as big as you remember Kazimir being. Is emerging from this capsule, this transference, this part of the machine. And if it wasn't the flash of light, or maybe it's just the ill luck of the timing of things, at the far end of the chamber is when the doors Emperor? Mercury? It sounds like there's a group of people outside the doors that are making their way in.
I'm going to cast a minor illusion. I'm going to try to duplicate the Emperor's voice to say, everything is fine. The procedure is underway.
The moment of silence that follows is dispelled as the door is kicked in, and there's a host of those who are armed with weapons and those who appear to be armed with sticks, gems, weird odds and ends that clearly would be harmless in most any other context, except they're probably magical
Yes,
implements.
obviously harmless.
One of the men holding a stick, looks at Evolution! Tam, with one of her heads, Bright, we have to go. In a weirdly guttural voice.
I mean, there's also the option we could stand and fight and kill the whole Shadahar army while we're here. But maybe going would be less work. Where are we going to?
Way. Out.
Alright, good choices. Can you fly?
The answer is yes, and that comes with a. Can you make a dex save? As a couple spells are going to fly your way, Bright.
Okay. Well, I'll counterspell the first one, whatever it is.
Okay, sure.
Alright, I hope I got a good one. And then, dex save? Yeah,
You did, I promise.
Okay, whee, I dodged.
Chat, where is it? Sorry, everyone. Roll20's being slow. I don't mean you, chat, in Twitch. Hi, everyone. I mean, if the button was pressed, it hasn't manifested for me. So a magical fight breaks out. There's a counter spell as we'll say a lightning bolt streaks across the lab, bringing back also memories of Oiho, Bright, because that happened a lot in that counterpart.
Yeah, I've been in these labs with lightning. It seems to be a thing that goes together. I wonder where Norallie is. Hope she's okay.
Meanwhile, Norallie is just on the floor, curled up.
Yeah, just the humanoidish but still 5-headed dragon Tam extends her wings and roars with all 5 heads, and ends up using the white head to coat the wall with a bitterly cold. I mean, you're used to the nice warm glow of a fireball, and stay a little bit away because you get that flash of heat. This is like the opposite. This is a cryo ball almost. It seems to suck the heat and energy out of you as the wall just flash freezes. There is a wave of a dozen people with physical armaments who are now about halfway in, Bright. If you would like to do anything to hinder or stop them or repel them. And there's also going to be 3 spells that are cast in your direction if you would like to counter any of them. And then I will need 2 saves of 2 different varieties for them that are coming in.
Okay, so first question, is there like a convenient window or something to jump out of?
There's not a convenient window, but Tam did just make one of the walls super duper flash frozen and brittle.
Ooh, okay. Well, I think Tam is probably going to take care of that. So the people who are charging, oh goodness, I have to decide how far away are the chargers?
We'll say that they're about 40 feet away from you right now.
40 feet away, okay.
Yep.
That's
You got a dozen of them.
Not too bad.
They're all pretty well lined up too. Nice regimental order. Very well disciplined.
Oh, that's good. This is going to be funny. I'm going to cast a grease.
Oh. Okay then.
Grease! Grease!
Didn't you do this in the lab the first time too?
Spell. We love it.
I think I probably did, yeah.
Yeah!
That's such a good spell.
Grease!
Make them trip. It's fine.
Yeah, and then I'll counterspell another spell, whatever
Sure.
looks interesting.
Okay. So of the first 6 that would have been running and sort of forced by the momentum of the last 6 in the dozen, all but 2 of them are going to slip and scatter and make a mess of themselves as the others just kind of stabilize. You're going to counterspell one. I would like a dex save and a con save. These are of course magical effects. So you being a gnome.
Well, I don't get bonuses for dex and con. Just
oh, that's right. Only the mental ones. Yeah.
Just mental spells. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna roll them.
Sure. Whew,
18
all right.
and 29.
All right. It is very close. Bright, uncomfortably close with one of the fiery spells as it streaks past you. Very inconveniently igniting one of your floofs. It is not completely consumed, so you're not down to only one. But you might have 1.5 going here, depending on how quickly you can put it out. The other, you managed to probably in your act to save the floof. You had a resolve to not let your body be mutated or harmed or come to any more changes, and you were able to repel being turned into something that was more easily capturable. Tam barrels into the wall with limbs and arms and heads, and it shatters with a really interesting sound. I don't know if you've ever heard of like super duper cold solid stone just breaking very easily, but there you go, imagine it. And a hole is created. Tam looks at you, Bright, and extends a taloned hand.
Okay. I will, I'll take it, although I was just planning to go on my own, but yes, let's go together, by all means.
She holds you close, and meanwhile, as this is happening, Chroma Company, not knowing what is happening inside what is happening at that moment inside the Imperial Palace, you are aboard the Repentless. It just manifested out of a silvery, watery pool, and here you are. There are airships that are circling that have very much noticed you. What are you saying or doing? Given no other prompt, you don't know what Bright is up to or doing, but you have yourselves in the ship and what you see.
Well, we've just entered a bloody war zone, haven't we?
Norla's just out. She's probably just like curled up on the ground. Maybe Loki's there, just kind of like petting her head and like, what happened?
Yeah, Loki's probably rushed over to you and is wondering, probably berating you for using Luciferase or something.
No, she didn't use Luciferase.
No, yeah. Just hopped up on magic or something.
Oh dear,
We should get there fast.
yeah, we need to head straight for the...
We have no time to waste.
Straight for the Imperial Palace.
Warning sirens begin to go up through the city at this ship that appeared. The other airships are getting closer, and spotlights are falling upon the Repentless.
The ships are probably going to be getting ready to fire.
Possibly. And we should abandon ship, except I used every last ounce of my power to fly, getting us up here.
There's a flash from the Imperial Palace.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't dive off at this point in time. hunker down. We need to get as close to the Imperial Palace as possible, and we need to keep the Repentless in one piece while we get there.
That's easier said than done. I may have built the thing, but it's grown since I last touched it.
Salter, do things.
Yes, aid Selter in whatever way that you can.
I'm available.
There is also a metallic chuckle from underneath you. Oh, you better believe that it's changed, dear Mordecai. That would be the voice of Cypher.
Okay, that's strange. Your voice coming from below my feet is a very strange thing indeed.
There's a report of several cannons from several ships that go off. Cypher tells you, time to go, and you feel yourselves actually like being pulled through the deck of the ship down into the interior.
Mm-hmm.
Loki, as this happens, Loki tells you, I know, it's weird. He seemed to find amusement in it. And
yeah, quite highly amusing.
The Repentless is rocked by several of these shots that have just made direct impact, probably where you were moments ago, from these harrying ships. And they're not just small little like buzzy ones. We're talking, you're in the Imperial capital. These aren't the like 20-person ships with maybe a cannon or two. We're talking ones that are they're not the size of the Repentless, but they're pretty close.
Cypher, wouldn't it have been a lot more useful to have disguised us as an Imperator class?
And still appear over the city, as we did? I can't hide that. I don't even know what that was.
True.
Foolish endeavors are foolish, Mordecai.
But there's a path that's illuminated for you all. Well, in the case of emergency, follow the lighted path. And Cypher tells you, follow it. Get to the command bridge where Selter and I are.
And Mordecai is going to help get Norallie down there.
You make your way through, and as a side out of character question for Fluffy regarding Bright, did Bright share her Halloween dream with the others, or did she keep that to herself?
You know, we never really talked about our Halloween dreams as a group. Just a couple of,
we did.
There was a couple of oblique references, but we never really sat down and had a whole discussion, so...
Okay.
Probably not. Probably shouldn't ever talk about it much.
Okay, alright.
She talked about the other one, because we had all discussions, but not this time.
Well, out of character, you're getting to run through the Repentless. There are Shadahar ships you can see outside that are sort of like getting into a parallel flight path with it. And the ship itself almost groans and growls in pain as the cannons on these other ships open up once more. The four of you, because of course you have Loki who's carrying Norallie, and then there's Celine and Mordecai, appear on the bridge of the ship, and there you have Cypher, who is manifested in a very nice looking chair, a very like a command throne, and Selter is she's just kind of there, like watching through a window. She doesn't seemingly need any kind of I don't know, ostentatious or a command throne or something, because I don't know, she's Selter. She's there. Darlings, I think that we need to go.
As in, to the ground, right?
No, as in leave. I'm being shot and it hurts.
What about Bright? What about that flash?
Celine, what is your passive perception?
Aside's high.
Alright,
21.
Okay.
Sorry, with the shield, 26. His advantage.
Mordecai makes a very good point to Selter. And as they are engaged with each other, you can see through this viewing window that Selter is standing in front of. There's a shape that just kind of burst out of the Imperial Palace and is beginning to fly in your direction. And with, you said a 25?
26.
26. It's not the fully formed five-headed dragon you may recall or were told about.
I never recall anything.
But all right, so there's a five-headed creature with wings, kind of humanoidish, that is making its way towards the Repentless.
We've got incoming from the palace.
Oh shit. That's probably Merkuri.
Not seemingly hostile at this stage.
How can you be certain?
Because given that it has 5 heads, it's probably Tam. And if it were Tam, we'd be getting harried by breath attacks right about now.
Cypher says, repelling fire. And there's some sort of you hear like a shifting, almost like bones clicking into place or knuckles cracking that's reverberating through the Repentless. And there's a couple flashes that you can just barely see from your forward command station as the sides of the Repentless have opened up and blasts issue forth. And you see that, mechanically, as DM to players, these are Eldritch blasts that are repelling as they impact the ships to the side and are pushing it away, pushing them as they make impact against them. Trying not to hurt them, but I can't do that much longer. There's more incoming.
I'm going to try something.
Do it now.
I am going to cast Sanctuary on Selter.
Okay.
Something that's attacking her has to make a wisdom save in order to be able to do so. And if she is the ship and the ship is her, I'm hoping it works the same way. I'm trying.
It's an idea. You cast your spell and Selter turns around and almost indignantly looks at you. What do you think you're doing?
Protecting your ass.
The ship rocks and she winces once more. Well, it didn't work. That hurt. She growls, and it is low. It is feral. And she looks very, very upset. Celine?
None of those ships are within 150 feet, are they?
No.
Damn.
Celine, you can see that this five-headed creature is now out of sight as it has passed over your viewing window or canopy. And the Repentless begins to turn to leave. There is a voice from DJ that is sort of just echoing throughout the hallways, or I guess the throats of the Repentless. Intruders? No, not intruders. It's someone with Bright. Bright's here with it. Meanwhile, we go up to the top deck. Bright, you were being held and, in effect, shielded by Tam, as there was a couple near misses from the cannon fire. You were able to do a couple flips. I don't know if you're motion sick. Maybe you threw up a little bit in your mouth, but you weren't impacted by a very, very heavy, damaging, and bad cannonball shot from an airship. So that's good.
That's good. No, I don't have a big problem with motion sickness. I do lots of twirling. I get used to it.
Okay. And you see that DJ is manifesting up out of the deck, and that is now the party's timelines are converging, because in real time to you, he's saying an intruder, and then he corrects when he sees you are being like let down onto the deck by Tam.
Oh, no, not intruders. We're on your side. Promise. It's good that we got here. Also, this is Tam. She's on our side now, probably.
Great, get in, moos DJ, as there's another round of fire. Again, more than a couple cannonballs, as there's other ships that are incoming, and there's
okay,
also...
I have a question.
Yes?
I know I'm not really here with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm wondering if maybe reactively, because Norallie would feel this motion and she has a tendency to run and hide, would I be able to maybe cast invisibility on Salter again?
I'm gonna say no, because you are you are overloaded with magic, and well, I won't tell you no, but you are super overloaded on magic, and if you want a result, you can buy it at a cost. But you would be willing to accept. You'd be willing to accept what you bought at a cost that is unknown to you.
Party consensus?
Nope, no party consensus. You can't offer an idea that you are casting at a cost to you and get other people in a moment of drunkenness. There's no lucidity here. No frozen moments, no divination, my friend.
Okay.
You are too drunk to talk to the party.
No, I meant like out of character. Should I do it?
Oh, no.
No, I shouldn't do it? Okay,
No.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use an 8th level spell, because that's what I had to use last time I turned invisible.
Alright, roll a percentile.
Yay! Fireball centered on self.
No.
No.
That was so close to 30.
Wow,
to
that was
53.
almost. 53 is what you'd be looking for to get drunk even more. A spectral shield hovers near you for the next minute, granting you a +2 bonus to AC and immunity to magic missile. Alright, so...
Can this surround Selter? Like, just, I go to turn it invisible, but also she's shielded. So as things are going to where she was, they're bouncing off of nothing.
What happens, Norallie, you are at 0 hit points, and you are dead.
Hey.
Your body has
Dead.
completely... It hasn't been a minute, but her body has overloaded. Her body can take no more, as this last bit of energy is expended. She gasps, and she shudders for a moment and is completely still. The Repentless, well, shields up, I guess.
I told you not to do it.
As-
I warned you.
The Repentless, the exterior shimmers, and another volley of cannonballs fire and don't quite bounce off, but you can see a rippling, crackling energy that surrounds the ship as it's continuing to turn. Selter, who's looking out the window, seemingly distracted, just comments, not even over her shoulder because she's not looking back at what's happening, but whatever you did, keep it up. More of it, I say. And the Repentless is turning and trying its best to leave, but it's also not the fastest ship of the line, so to speak. Bright and Tam, you are enveloped by the deck, and you are pretty well deposited outside of this command area. It's an easy matter for you to walk through the door, but you don't get put right inside. Unless you want to run somewhere else. Although, Bright, now that you are inside the Repentless, you have a very vivid image of, well, the Repentless as a monster surrounded by Shadahar ships. And with all of the weird squicks and groans and growls and bones popping noises, maybe for a moment there's just a cold tingle up your spine, as this is a very familiar and bad feeling.
Yeah.
Have we noticed what happened to Norallie?
If anything, Loki was right there.
Yeah, Loki's right there. So I'll say in the immediacy, you haven't. Not that he can't say anything, but there's not. Mordecai, you were trying to work through Selter, similar to Norallie. Norallie's magic did seem to take. So it's not that you had a bad idea, but her magic seemed to be a lot more resonant with the Repentless. But you're up there with, you're standing beside her. You can see the cityscape shifting as the Repentless is kind of veering and turning. You have to all of you kind of have to stabilize yourself a little bit through this turning process as this great beast is shuddering and moving. But you also did see that the whole thing sort of flashed and glowed. And where those cannonballs impacted, there was these almost like lightning strikes on the outside, like cracks that formed and then sort of sealed up. But for Celine and Mordecai, what do you want to do in this moment?
You're muted.
Apologies. Would I actually notice what happened to Norallie, given that I'm currently very in tune with my surroundings?
Not at the moment, because you're in tune with the externals of what's happening. You were watching this five-headed thing leave the palace, all of everything that's happening here. So in the immediacy, you don't notice Norallie down.
All right. So then Celine's
let me actually get a clearer image of this picture. So Norallie walks up to Selter.
From where she was.
She didn't move. She was laying down. She made a noise, but she just kind of reacted to the motion. So maybe probably the only thing she did was maybe put her hands down on the ground from where she was laying. But it would just be that.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, with the noting from DJ of the of everything coming in. There would be a note from Celine. That's the package secured. We need to get out of here, like now.
Right.
Cypher tells you, Celine. You have eyes. He points over to a section of the effectively the helm of this ship. Sit down and help. She'll tell you otherwise, but she and I can't do this alone.
Understood, and she'll immediately head over there.
And Mordecai is going to go back to trying to help Norallie get out of her drunkenness.
Celine, as you make your way over to this section of the control station, number one, you can look through the doors leading in, and there's Bright and a very large five-headed humanoid dragon. that are standing outside of the command center. And 2, when you sit down and you sort of grasp the controls, the levers that are here, there's an intrinsic feel of connectivity to it. This is an effect or an extension of really how the Shadahar, even with their simple airships, they're able to exert themselves through this interface that you even experienced. Well, I don't think you experienced it, but Mordecai was kind of looking into it with the weird metal and the wires. But that substance,
I think he's actually piloted the thing before.
Yeah, Mordecai has, right?
Mordecai has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably even got that Cypher heads-up display type feel from Intellect Fortress as well, due to his integration with the ship.
So you are like, you sit down and you get an instant, like, you're comfortable with this. Like you just seemingly know how to work this station and what these things do, how this interface is going. And that there are other parts here, so you have more of an Auspex style station of sensory, of information, and you have Cypherius, who is more of the weapons, and then you have Selter, who's effectively the pilot, or at least you have like captain and co-captain between Selter and Cypher. Mordecai, you're gonna turn around and make your way over to Loki and Norallie. Bright, we go to you. You've come down. You've had the chill up your spine. You see things that are happening in the battle station of the Repentless, as the defecation has hit the ventilation. It seems in the capital city.
Yeah, did I do that?
Right. Know that I love you. I love you for this. Truly.
Yeah. Didn't really have a lot of choices. Well, I mean, I did. Didn't have a lot of good choices. I'll explain later. Right now we have to not die. Yeah, let's not die.
Then make yourself useful, chicken nugget.
Too late.
Shouts Selter.
Yeah. So, what are my options right now? What are the most immediate threats?
The most immediate threats are the many and more ships that are closing in on the Repentless as it's trying to veer course and escape. I guess in hard mechanical terms here, there are a couple different things you could do aboard the ship. You can channel yourself through it. If you would like to man the weapons of the ship, Cypher is just sort of like a central command unit, but he's also been doing some double duty. So if you want, you can go to a weapons station and channel yourself through the ship, through this weird innate interaction. If you want to, if you would like to kind of be like emergency repairs, you can go to sort of like an emergency management panel to do all the classic close the bulkheads on levels blah blah blah, and etc. So lean into the trope if you want. It's absolutely fine. So with that, what would Bright like to do to make herself useful aboard the Repentless?
I mean, while rerouting power through the EPS conduits is always fun, probably what I would be better off doing would be, if I can channel through Selter, how does that work? Have I seen anyone be able to do that besides Norallie, or is that something that I would know how to do?
You've only seen Norallie do it the one time.
Yeah.
But maybe with the weapon station, that might help with the channel.
Maybe the weapon station is the place to go. I don't know. I have all the wrong spells, although I do have disintegrates. That'll be fun. We'll definitely shoot some of those. But
might even give you access to Cypher's Suite of Magic.
Let's try the weapon station for now. Maybe we'll try something else after a little bit.
Okay, sure. So you dash over, and as you make contact with the weapons station, it is a conduit, Bright, for you. The exterior of the Repentless is your fingertips. It's like you are able to, you make the somatic or the verbal components, etc. here, but it is coursed through the ship to provide an effect.
Well, that's pretty doggone cool. Can I cast invisibility? That's a statement. I can cast invisibility. Can I cast it through the ship?
You can try.
Dead. The old you can certainly try. That's always good.
You can interact with it, but it doesn't give you the full, like, here's a list of the spells or here's the list of this.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start easy then. Let's start with a firebolt. Target the nearest ship with the firebolt. See what happens.
Sure.
Need to practice my magic before I start trying crazy stuff. That's a 25.
Okay. So Bright, you slide into this weapons station. You can feel this connection through the Repentless, and your spell does channel out, and a firebolt that is magnified, greater than, what you would personally cast it as, ruptures forth from the side of the Repentless and slams into the side of one of the parallel Shadahar ships.
That worked pretty well.
Does that break the invisibility?
I didn't realize we had invisibility. I thought it didn't. I thought it was like a shield.
No, it worked.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Okay, I might have misunderstood the situation.
Well, no, the shield, like a shield went up, or like on the ship, and
yeah, I thought it was like a shield, not invisibility. That's why.
But Norallie also cast invisibility.
Invisibility shield was my side effect.
Yes.
Oh. Well. I guess it's already happened. Let's see what happens.
So you do this, your spell manifests through the ship. We come back to Loki and Norallie. Mordecai, you are making your way across the bridge to them, and Loki is looking around, because of all the recent activity shaking the ship and what's happening. Looks down, and he gets a panic to his voice, and Norallie, and he's not violently shaking her, but Mordecai, you're seeing this. She's not breathing.
I'm rushing over.
Yep.
And I'm checking her.
There's no pulse, no breathing. Her eyes are not responsive.
Shit. He immediately pulls one of the diamonds out of his bag. I hope this isn't too late, because he realizes how much else is going on, and he is going to cast Revivify.
Alrighty.
Please, my lady, she is the vessel of your will.
The diamonds disappear, but they disappear into her body, just fading, almost like a snow might melt and just leave almost no trace behind.
No. No. Norallie? Did the spell not manifest? Did it just fizzle? The diamonds just disappeared? Like, my spell didn't work? Like, it didn't land? What do I know about this?
The diamonds were consumed and the spell went off. She is not giving an immediate response. So we have a scene where Loki is cradling Norallie. You're there as well, like, I don't know, like kneeling down, or like you're there, like you've placed the this on her, and you're praying.
Definitely clutching the kind of holy symbol and that necklace that one tiefling gave me in tandem. Just begging. Absolutely begging.
One moment. Didn't expect this slide. Norallie. Wrong music. We're not going to use this.
Oh no!
Yes,
Oh
I'm
no!
We are going to use... Sorry, these are not alphabetical. There we go. Norallie, you are aware, which is a lot more than what you were before, even when you were alive or conscious. In fact, there's just a very easy clarity to what's happening. It's everything actually feels light. There's no burden. In fact, you yourself, while you can see, there's nothing really to see in the moment, and you can hear, though there's nothing to hear. You don't even have a body. You're just sort of like a little wisp, flitting around like a butterfly. And welcome back to consciousness. What are you saying or doing as you're sort of flitting in darkness?
This doesn't look like the black room with the white,
No.
with the spotlight. Okay.
Nope. This isn't that place. This is just darkness. You don't see anything in the moment, except kind of yourself. It's weird how you can perceive yourself. And why are you a little, like, kind of a little blue, wispy blue flame? But hey, you can think, you can move, you're flying around.
I don't see anything around me. What would be the last thing I remember? Because I don't know if I am going to remember any of that.
Maybe a vague flash. Like, there was the Repentless. Then there was there was a lot of water. There was a stone building and the mountain. So you're getting very broad, vague flashes of that. The last thing you remember was before you got your first overcharge of magic.
So probably the last thing I would remember would be talking with Mordecai.
Yeah.
Mordecai? That's weird. He was just here.
You're looking around and talking, and another little blue wisp appears. And it's just sort of swimming by.
Okay. Follow, don't follow. She's gonna look around a bit, just kind of like seeing if there's anything else, another wisp or something before. If she doesn't see anything else, she's gonna cautiously follow the first wisp.
Sure. There's nothing else, and you begin to follow that one, and even though both of you are these little formless wisps, I mean, you can still very much make yourself out and feel as if yourself. And while you're looking at a blue wisp, this actually seems to be, this is an elderly human woman of some kind. She doesn't have a face, she doesn't have a body, but you can very distinctly tell that she's an old woman who's just sort of bopping past. And it doesn't stop necessarily, but kind of slows down and in its own way looks back at you. You look at her, she looks at you. Oh. Well, hello to you. I'm not quite sure where we are, but it's good to see someone else. Will you walk with me?
Yeah. Sure, I can walk with you. I don't know where we are either.
Thank you. I'm not sure, but I can tell you, my aches and pains are gone. And you start traveling with this other very nice lady. She, as you're making your way, there's actually even a couple other blue wisps that you encounter in this place. And there's a quite, a party of various people. Some of them young, some of them old. And one of them, Norallie, it's a tiefling child. You've never seen him before. He has some distinct features. Very dark eyes, but very vivid skin. And the way that he talks reminds you of... at first it's a Shadahar accent, but it seems different in some way. After talking to him a little bit, you almost get... you get that he can attempt to speak your style of the common tongue. And so you've learned a couple things from people along the way. The old lady is she's actually from Aslandia, and she remembers she was cooking something for her family. She felt a little dizzy, and she found herself here. The other people are sharing their stories, and if you believe him, maybe he's a fibber, but this child is telling you that he was the Emperor of Shadahar.
What? Why would the Emperor of Shadahar be here? I don't even know where he is.
I don't rightly know. I just... The last things were... I was in the palace, and I was getting ready to go to the laboratory with my teacher, and several more of these things are joining. And ahead, there's now something that is drawing close, that is approaching. And the others are going ahead because you're talking with these other kind of little blue ghosties.
I would instinctively hang back if I saw something in the distance.
And their conversations between each other are they're not really growing faint, but they're kind of being disrupted because the old lady, who is reintroducing herself to yet another kindred spirit, goes to talk about what her name was, and she seems kind of forgetful about that. Now, she told the last three people what her name was, and she even is struggling to remember where she was before she was here. And the other person that has sort of floated on ahead towards it looks like a person in the distance. A lady. But the other person just sort of laughs and, it's all right. I don't remember either. But you know what? What does it matter even? I think things were pretty terrible for me, but honestly, I don't remember and I don't care. This place is great. Oh, well, I suppose you might have a point. And they continue on. You and the Emperor are side by side. As you're getting closer and closer, you don't even feel yourself moving. It's more like you're being drawn in. There's nothing necessarily you can even do as you approach. And the Emperor is, he was talking about some things, and he's hung up on a thought. And it was my teacher, and where? And he just sort of, he doesn't have a face, he doesn't have arms or hands to make these sort of gestures, but you get that he is all the same. Norallie, a question for you. Out of character to translate in character. What's something that you would like to forget? It could be the most terrible, tragic thing that has ever happened to you. It could be something relatively simple, like a low-key but persistent thing through your life. But it doesn't have to be a super immediate, consistent thing, but I want you to forget something.
There are two initial things that come to my mind.
Sure.
Like, what would she forget? One of them being kissing her.
Would be, I'm sorry, say it again, you cut out for me.
Celine kissing her.
Sure.
The other would be the night her parents were killed.
Okay. Tell you what, roll a 1d2. On a 1, it's Celine. On a 2, it's your parents. Okay. So, Norallie, things are kind of weird because you've been talking to these people and other things that maybe you've brought up because you've introduced yourself along the way now. It's starting to get a little hazy. However, for you, you feel kind of a tug on your tail. Because, I mean, as a wisp, you still have a little tail. And, of course, you're pretty sure you did when you had a body. It seems familiar enough. And there's a familiar voice. And it's not that you've forgotten, Mordecai. It just takes a moment to clarify, because it seems to be coming from a very long way away, very faint. But you do hear Mordecai say... He sounds rather upset, maybe even desperate or angry.
Mordecai?
Norallie.
Oh, right. We were talking. Wait. There's a table. Breakfast.
No, she can't be dead. She can't be dead. No, we need her.
Mordecai?
The lady that you've been approaching, several of your traveling companions have since sort of fallen into this mysterious blue eye that she has. In fact, she has hauntingly beautiful eyes, one green and one blue. Though, as you get close to her, she seems incomplete. Part of her is missing. Maybe, I don't know if it's necessarily grotesque, maybe it is to Norallie. But it's haunting. And as the others are pulled ahead, you hear Mordecai's voice saying the things that he did. And it's like you do stop, or at least you're slowed. Mordecai, will you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Oh, big money.
Norallie, As you stop, you seem to draw the actual attention. The green eye shifts to look at you. And a hand gracefully seems to reach out and extend as it nears you. As there's this hauntingly beautiful woman ahead of you.
You're not a cop, are you? You have to tell me if you are to roll.
In a voice that is present and distant, it is beautiful and weird at the same time. It's like a voice you feel more than you hear. And it speaks to you in every language simultaneously, though you can understand it singularly. No.
Okay. Have you seen? Who was it? My brother. Have you seen my brother?
There's much I have seen, and much that I know. Let me help you. Help me help you. And her hand reaches out, and she doesn't, grab you up violently, but almost like catching a firefly on a beautiful summer's night. She just sort of, almost ushers you into her palm. Mordecai, make another wisdom save for me.
Oh, please, and jeez.
Give any plus ones.
Please.
Run.
You all are floating plus ones.
Run.
I don't know how many plus ones I'm floating.
I mean, well, you can invoke one at a time, but you can invoke one if you want.
I would like to evoke one,
Sure.
please.
Mark is complete. There we go.
Big money, please.
Ooh!
Fuck.
No!
Ah,
It's a
you
red
another
number
one
in the
too!
chat, everyone.
that is not the time that you want red number.
That's less than ideal. Less than ideal.
No.
That is
less
less
than
than
ideal.
ideal. Norallie, you can still hear Mordecai's voice in the background, but this woman who has sort of almost caressed your cheek, she exudes a stillness and a comfort. She is like the physical manifestation of you being just, dead tired, and there's a comfy bed. All you want to do is just, go to that bed and sleep and be at peace. And so she has you in her hand.
I need to go find my brothers. I need to go find my brothers. We have important things to do.
Your brother will be here soon enough.
Well, I could just wait out here for him then. He was supposed to come pick me up. Yeah, I called him.
I assure you, your brother is on his way here. Now, come with me and be at peace, child. Know what I know. Be what I am.
That reminds me. I need to go check in on the orphanage soon. It's been about a day, but it doesn't hurt to call.
They will be here too. Be at peace. Mordecai, go ahead and make another one for me, please. And by the way, Norallie,
another plus one.
When you are floating one.
You another.
I am invoking the one that that Douglas just gave me. Please.
Ooh,
Better.
There you go. That is better.
Better.
Norallie, in this moment, as you're very close to her, she says, "Be at peace," and there's time, then she says your name. And that sounds correct to you, Norallie. Maybe that must be who you are. It sounds familiar, but maybe that doesn't matter so much now. She has your name, Norallie. However, the approach has ceased. Now, we're going to cut back to the bridge of the Repentless, as things have happened outside of this moment. The Repentless is desperately trying to escape over this the capital city of Shadahar. There are many ships, and fortunately, I mean, the shield was there, but you have taken a lot of fire. You have also returned it, Bright. You've been able to experiment with this panel. You have channeled tremendous energy. And I don't know if you want to talk to Celter or Cypher about it later. Maybe now's not the time, but it's an interesting thing that, you cast Lightning Bolt, and so too does the Repentless. And boy, the Repentless's Lightning Bolt is, that's a sparkler.
Fireball, but yeah.
But now, all of you on the bridge are aware that Mordecai and Loki are cradling Norallie, who is limp and unresponsive. Celter and Cypher, they can't leave what they're doing. Like, they are the skeleton crew in many ways. They are the bare bones of the ship. Celine, you can continue. Like, you have been at your station helping to, like, avoid attacks, spot incoming threats. But if either you, Bright, or you, Celine, wish to leave your battle station, you may, for whatever is happening now. Mordecai is calling out to Norallie, is praying, is fervent. What would either of you two like to do in this moment? Blasts rock the ship.
Leaving my station.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I can't go to Norallie. I have to. The ship gets destroyed, we all die. Someone has to do this. But Celine, if you need to go to her, you need to go to her. I don't know if Mordecai... I don't know. You two sort that out. I'm bad at medicine anyway.
He's gonna need some help. Especially if something's happened to him. Celta, Cypher, transferring Auspex back over to you. I need to get up there and have a look at what's going on. I would highly suggest that if you have some kind of ace in the hole to get them to try and back off, now would be the time to use it.
Yeah,
Cypher.
try something.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bright. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you.
I just said I've got some ideas.
Cypher says, I do too. And interestingly enough, Celter actually now turns around, doesn't just even make a comment over his shoulder, turns around, glares up at him, and says, "You most certainly do not, sir." And he keeps a calm face. But he does not reply back to her snap. Anyway, awkward. Celine, you leave the Auspex station and are making your way over to Mordecai, Norallie, and Loki.
She's not breathing. I don't know for how long.
Did you try to...
I tried and it didn't work. It just it's like the diamond's just disintegrated. I'm praying.
We need to call out to her then. Mordecai. And she offers a hand out.
How do we do that?
Take my hand.
Okay. Trusting you with this because you're more experienced at this kind of thing than I am.
And Celine is going to place her hand on Norallie's shoulder.
I've got more diamonds. He starts digging out more diamonds.
You got like the shaking hands, you know, you're trying 300, 300.
Do I
Did the market
feel,
value
do I
drop or he's
feel
297?
Do I feel any faint response from her? Like
no, she's cold and dead. She's not cold, I'm sorry. She is assuming room temperature, but she is dead.
Another one.
Have all of them. And he just hands over his whole kit of diamonds.
Okay.
Which include 4 at 300 and 2 at 500.
Yep, so I've got the one of the ones at 300 and I'll pump a Revivify into her.
Alright. Revivify. More of this, more of the diamond. This, well, I mean, the biochemistry wouldn't be known to your characters, but as you're returning this purest carbon back into a carbon-based life form, you're trying to restore her, you're trying to repair her, you're trying to call her back with senses of value and worth in this physical manifestation. And Mordecai and Celine, you two find yourselves almost like you had been before. In fact, you can see as you two are racing through this place. You've been here before, and I presume you might not like it from how the first meeting with her went. And you can see, held very close to her face, in Wee-Jas's hand, you can see this soul form of Norallie. There are other entities that are making their way into her blue eye, and she seems to have been whispering or talking to Norallie as you two are desperately pushing yourselves past your boundaries to recover her. I would like one of you to make a wisdom saving throw at advantage.
Take it, Celine.
Yeah, I got it. 28.
Nice. Did either of you want to use +1s?
I'll use a +1. That'll make it a 29.
Just buy you one.
Thank you kindly, Norallie.
Mordecai, you have one more you can use in queue from an older gift from 2 weeks ago.
To bump into Celine's wisdom save? I can do
Yeah,
that.
like she's rolling it for both of you, but both of you are actively working. Like, it's not a passive, like, yeah, I'll keep an eye out while you pick the lock. Like, this is... You two
This
are...
is a concerted, double-handed effort
Yeah.
from both of them.
So it's up to you. Do you want to use this last one in queue that you have, or no?
I'll pump it into a 30. Yeah.
That's a 30.
All right.
Pump it in. It's a 30.
Streaking past all of these other lost souls, you see men, women, boys, girls. You don't see, and now Mordecai, this is again confirming, well, it's not that you don't see in its entirety, but of all of the people, quote unquote, that you're passing, almost none of them are elves or gnomes. You're seeing humans and tieflings for sure. A lot of different makes and models. But whatever. Think about that later. You
We have Norallie to save.
rush forward. And Norallie, who's in the palm, you manifest, and it's only then that Wee-Jas seems to notice you as she was fixated on Norallie alone. And you have returned. There's almost a shock/indignant tone to this universally spoken and understood voice.
I am instantly grabbing my staff and shield.
Not again. Her fingers, because you two are, again, you're little fireflies in the palm of her massive hand. Her fingers begin to clutch around the three of you. I need
I won't let you take her.
one of you to make a dex save at advantage.
What would I be?
Yeah, you are. I mean, you're just as manifest here as the others are.
I'm at a 4, so it's not gonna be me.
21
That's
or
21. It's gonna be her.
If I have any plus ones, I'll add one.
I assume the same kind of stance that I took against Raphael.
Ooh, all right.
In that I'm holding up that shield, and I'm keeping both of them close, and I am essentially like telling her, I will not let you take her.
The fingers close, and in your defiance, at this point, I called for a dex, but in the spiritual sense, your being, your essence is resisting that of Wee-Jas, and they close, and you're holding the one up with your shield, Mordecai. Now, Norallie, you see Mordecai here, and some other chick, whoever that is, but Mordecai for sure is here, and he's holding this hand from closing around you. Mordecai, do you have anything to say to Norallie at all? Like you're standing defiant, but as you look to like Celine and Norallie, anything you want to say in this moment? Or up back to Wee-Jas?
Norallie. Are you okay? We can go home.
The fingers crush down. You don't have a lot more time being defiant.
Yeah, you were supposed to come pick me up.
I'm picking you up, hon. I'm picking you up, kiddo.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Shouts Wee-Jas.
Let's go.
You are all mine now. And she pulls on your memories, the things that make you who you are. And as she tries to take this identity, as she tries to take your lives from you by making you a part of her, by consuming you, I need a charisma saving throw to maintain that selfness, that essence. This is at advantage because the three of you, your fiery spirits are together. 3 sparks
Plus
have
10.
made a bonfire.
I'm also
All 3 of us?
I need one of the 3 of you, to make a charisma saving throw at advantage.
I'm also at a plus 10.
I'm plus 12.
Do it.
Alright, you do it, Mordecai.
Alright.
That'd be a 20. Mordecai doesn't have any plus 1s, but do I in Norallie?
Celine does, and Norallie does. Norallie has 1 left from a week ago.
Shall we push it to a
Mordecai
22?
has another one. Yes.
Shall we push that to a 23, Mordecai?
Yes. Duh.
I mean, we're burning through them. They are very...
We're burning them.
Mordecai. There are, for Celine and Mordecai, something minor in your lives will be lost. Now, not each other, not that you know each other or core memories, but this is more tangential to who your characters are. You don't lose something prominent. You haven't forgotten your name. You haven't forgotten, as Norallie has, Celine in a sense. But you two, I'll let you think about that. Something tangential. It could be more of a moment and not something deeper. It's nothing core. But I'll let you consider what that is, and you can have some fun exploring it. But you do feel some of that slip away as you begin, Norallie, just sort of in that instinct, that reaction, that even in this moment of not knowing, which in a sense is also how she got here too, the pure instinct of not even thinking. The 3 of you as one fly from the hands, a part of you is left behind and is pulled into the blue eye of Wee-Jas. And you race
The
back
land doesn't forget.
through this darkness. And welcome Raiders, everyone. If I can have a mod give a shout out while I'm narrating here. You're pulling now against this, you're flying against the wind. There are other souls, other essences passing by you. Very delightfully, almost like skipping along, ho-hum. Like, this is wonderful. I'm going to bed after a long day. But the three of you are going counter to that. And I need you to make one more wisdom saving throw to see if you can escape this intent. This...
At advantage.
Yes, at advantage, because you all are working. If any of you want to throw in, there's remaining... Selter has a +1. Celine, you have 1.
Then yeah, I'll chuck it in to make it a 19.
But
The land does not forget.
Bloop. Okay. Well, it'd be at advantage. It wouldn't be a... so it'd be a 23.
Oh, yeah.
Mordecai, you...
I'll add to my other one, too.
24.
Ooh.
The
You
land
have-
doesn't forget. She won't forget. We won't forget.
There's
I bought all the favors.
something in end of this tunnel that's approaching. It's kind of round like the blue eye of Wee-Jas, but it's different in a sense. It's not a thing or a portal or it's a place. It's a destination. You're quickly approaching. Back on the bridge. Bright. You are you using any particularly deadly force? Like, do you want to put some disintegrations through this? Are you keeping it rather low level?
Well, I kept it low level at first because I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't know how it worked. But now it's becoming a little more clear. So, how many targets are we looking at? You said many ships. Is that many?
By now, there's like 20 ships that are in 3 dimensions harrying the slower moving Repentless. The whole thing is being rocked. In fact, if Celine didn't leave her Auspex station, the very next round, the panel would have exploded in sparks, probably sending her flying because there's no seatbelts either.
Yeah. Someone should really invent seatbelts. Okay. Okay, so first everyone check and make sure you're not wearing your red shirts. Second, Selter, what do you want? Bad weather or frozen time?
No. Not that, she says to you.
Neither of those?
Weather. She actually looks injured now that you look over at her. Though she is in this kind of smoky form, you swear there's like a green blood that's trickling down from several parts of her body.
Should I interpret that to mean she does not want bad weather, or she does want bad weather?
She snapped at the frozen in time very quickly. She said, not that. And then she immediately said, weather, emphasizing that.
Okay. Alright. Here we go then. I'm gonna cast Wish.
Oh,
And I'm wishing for control weather.
okay. Yeah. Can you put that text on screen so I can try and extrapolate the effect of that?
Yeah, I'm working on it, but I
Okay.
don't have that spell in my spell book.
If one of you do, just splash it up for me.
Yeah,
I do.
because Wish is rather nice like that in that it can cast any 8th level spell or lower just for the
There you
cosmic
go.
wish.
There's the
And
there's
no
the text
flashback
for
either.
We got it.
control weather.
Okay, well, you're definitely
Yeah.
outdoors.
Yeah, we got that covered.
Yep.
And no light.
Technically.
Okay, how are you changing the weather over this time?
Well, so the good news is I don't have to cast it for 10 minutes. It's just one action because
Yes.
I'm casting it with Wish. And I'm going to make it as bad as I can make it. Howling winds, hail, all the stuff.
Okay.
Because it's cold. Blizzard.
Yeah, it's a blizzard. You're basically creating a snowstorm.
Well, I'm not really thinking snowstorm. I'm thinking more like thunderstorm / hailstorm.
Okay.
It's easier to fly in a snowstorm than a thunderstorm.
Roll your 1d4 then.
Why?
It takes 1d4 minutes for the new conditions to take effect.
1d4 by 10 minutes.
Times 10 minutes,
Oh,
yes.
10 minutes. Nice.
Okay.
10 minutes.
All right. So the spell goes off, and the clouds are definitely churning and swirling. And Bright, you can look to Selter and and give that kind of classic 10 minutes. I need 10 minutes. And so, or not, well, it's to Selter or to Cypher. And one of Cypher will probably tell you, I'm giving her all she's got, Bright. As your spell is manifesting, churning the air and the wind and the humidity and the temperature in the capital city here in this 5-mile, maybe even greater radius around the Repentless.
And this is also the place where somebody says, I can't change the laws of physics. Except I can! Woohoo!
Yeah. So you need 10 minutes bought, hopefully, before this is and it'll pick up over the time, so it's not like you won't get any effect during it. It will just reach maximum potency then. So you stay there. The Cypher and Selter are doing what they can. Fortunately, the shields, well, the shield isn't up so much anymore due to time or just the massive amount of damage that has been taken. So unfortunately, you have lost shields. Shields are down, and you are still taking some heavy fire. The winds have picked up, and you can feel them rumbling against the Repentless. Although the Repentless, fortunately, as compared to the other ships, is a lot girthier. And it can take a lot more of a rumble or a beating than the smaller airships that more or less actually require a semblance of aerodynamics and need to be conscientious about their weight and displacement. During this time, Bright, as the Repentless is lumbering, bleeding, the clouds are churning, the winds are picking up. Mordecai, Celine, and Norallie, your eyes open. You two have been breathing. Norallie, just a gasp, a flutter, almost like a choking sound. But she coughs and she's breathing, and you can feel a very rapid heartbeat pulse, just as you hold, as you touch her or hold her.
Oh. Welcome back, kiddo.
Am I still drunk? Question.
No.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Hey.
Return from the dead cures drunkenness.
She just puts one hand on both on Mordecai and Loki's hands. Hand it to me. That's good.
The tender moment is interrupted by a barrage of cannon fire striking the Repentless, and Ural's vision is put forward to the large viewing canopy in this cockpit area, and you see Selter is not looking too good, and on top of that, Bright is at her control panel, and the clouds are just churning and roiling by this point. And it's not just the Repentless that's growling. The wind seems to be howling and guttering down the throat of this thing. And the other Shadahar ships, some of them have, the smaller ones, have either been blown away or have had to peel away from this major part of the storm. things aren't looking very good. You've gone from the frying pan perhaps back into the fire, but at least you're alive to feel the heat. Mod, can I get a shout out for our raiders? Hello, God Mode. I'm in the middle of a very quick, intense scene. Thank you for coming in. You can let us know in chat what's going on, but I gotta focus on my players.
There's that emergency management panel, right?
In what's your concept?
In the the repairs and stuff.
Yeah, you can go over, because apparently in your time away, your Auspex station, has blown out. But yeah, there's like there's like power rerouting and such. Again, lean into the trope that, you know, that this is a Star Trek parallel.
Okay. Having a look between that and the weapon station that Bright's at, do I get the feeling that I might be able to go ahead and,
I mean, if repairs need to be made, I could try.
I know,
Nobody
Mending.
can make repairs better than you.
having a look at it, is there any, do I get the feeling that I might be able to channel magic into the outside much like Bright was? From this emergency management panel?
The emergency management, in mechanical terms, would be kind of like healing. Like,
I have an idea.
So
Because I have an idea.
Mass heal. Dump all of it if none of us need it. Dump all of it into Celter.
I'm at
Yeah,
1 HP, but I should be fine.
You could do that. You could do that, Mordecai. Because that was going to be similar to the idea that I was going to have. If that's the case, I might tell Mordecai...
ninth level spell.
I might tell Mordecai to go do that, and if there's another weapons panel, I might make my way over there. There's more we can throw out, Cypher, but if you've got an ultimate weapon or some kind of trick up your sleeve, now would be the time to use it.
Celter, you have to. No, you're going to. And he gets like a hard tone to his voice. He looks. So Mordecai, you're trying to. You're doing like emergency repairs through mass heal, right?
Heal a ship. Yep.
Cypher looks at you, Celine. I need your help to make her do this. I need you to help reroute the power. And Celter says, no, I can't. There's nothing left. You will. You can, and you are. Bright, at your weapons station, because you have been eyes forward. Through a swirling like cloud bank that has been forming here in this just chaotic, wild weather. There is now an actual sizable Imperator class, actual Shadahar Imperator class ship.
Oh god, the flagship's here.
Arrived on the scene and is loaded for bear against this other girthy vessel in the skies above the capital city.
Okay. Then it's my turn is up.
If you want to do something, there's a tremendously large ship like the Repentless that is now in threatening visibility and range.
Well, that's interesting.
Celine, make a medicine real quick while she's doing this. And Bright, I'm sorry, cut back to you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's usually kind of boring to just blast away. But sometimes the situation calls for just blasting away. And I've already had good luck with this once today. So let's go ahead and cast another Disintegrate.
Okay.
This will be level 7.
All right.
My medicine check is a 25.
And that is disintegrate is a save. Yes. Is it con or dex?
Yes, dexterity save.
Oh,
dexterity.
dex. Can it be con, please?
No.
No,
Oh.
it's no.
Because this is a really big ship, and I don't really get dex. I get con, but all right.
No, you almost killed me. You don't get what you want.
Nope, you don't get that. You killed Norallie.
I mean, I redeemed a +1 anyway because I have like 2 or 3 floating, but that's definitely not going to be enough. All right. So Bright, as the ship has been an extension, what you saw in your vision when Cypher and Selter first combined to be this ship, you saw that the sides opened up as broadsides and as like gauntlet cannons pushed out and fired eldritch blasts. You saw the front of the ship open up like a giant black dragon's maw, and just an acid gout spewed forth, and that's what ended up driving away Kazimir and Tam the first time. As you are channeling this disintegrate spell, what is your manifestation of the Repentless having this disintegration ray beam out into this other Imperator ship?
Well, I mean, we know we have the maw cannon, so pretty much, I mean, you know, all of my magic is sparkly and pink. So I just imagine that the kind of the funny juxtaposition of this, you know, this eldritch horror looking, you know, twisted airship opening up and spewing forth the acid from its mouth, except instead of acid, it's pink sparkles.
Sure. All right. The horrible
but don't
maw.
stand in the pink sparkles.
The horrible maw of the Repentless opens wide, and instead of a pulsing, glowing green sack filled with just the most vitriolic of acid, a directed, focused beam of pink energy and silvery sparkles bursts forward and creates just like a perfect hole, breaching the hull of this Imperator ship.
Bright used hyper beam.
Super
Bright used
effective.
hyper beam, really. Celine, you ended up with a 25. Oh, nice.
Yes.
So Cypher asked you, like, I need you to help me. I need you to help me with Selter. She's not cooperating. You are at your panel. You're doing this sort of redirection. You're flicking switches. You're pushing buttons. There's like little things to spin and everything, and you do it. You then see a pink flash coming from the broken canopy where the wind is now starting to whistle in, and you can feel raindrops or snow starting to blow inside as the weather has been intensifying this whole time. There's this blast, and you see the Imperator ship now lurch as ghosts are escaping through its various systems, and it begins an out of control, like a tilt that is heading towards the Repentless. The Repentless is not in a position with its current maneuver to move out of the way. So whatever's going to have to happen needs to happen now.
We're gonna have to destroy it before it hits us.
This is a collision course between the two, and just at this moment where the ships are getting ready to collide, and there's like an initial, like, you hear the bones of the Repentless starting to break and buckle, a loud, painful groan. Cypher tells you, Celine, hit the button. And Cypher stands up from the command throne, his gauntleted arm forward. Chronostatic, undulation, mobility. And Selter says no, and she almost, like in a scream herself, maybe due to the collision or something, there's a bit of a panic. Everything stops. And then everything comes back. As you are meanwhile, somewhere slightly distant from the Shadahar capital, it is a beautiful summer's day. The birds are chirping. Farmers are tending their fields. And one moment while I time begins again. And above this quaint farming village, a bleeding, roaring monster seemingly just manifests in the sky as time resumes. However, the Repentless is wounded severely and is going down.
Oh,
Mordecai, if you can get that healing into her somehow, now would be the time.
yeah. Did my mass heal not work?
Oh, it did. You were plugging holes that have long been bleeding. It's not that it didn't help. It did, but as with
Because it's 700 hit points.
with that last impact, that was sending the ship off kilter as well. That's like the momentum and such that was carried into that time stop. Now that you're here, it has continued.
Well,
Do I have a chance to act?
What would you like to do,
8th
Bright?
level kill wounds?
I would like to cast Levitate.
Ooh.
Also 8th level cure wounds.
Okay. So you're trying to you're sealing the bulkheads. You're using the emergency force field. Stop bleeding, Selter. Stop. Bright is casting Levitate. I will allow this, but I want something extra from you, Bright. I don't know how. You tell me how it manifests. But this isn't going to be I cast a simple levitate spell into the ship. You are like, this is you like, the ship's going down, and you're like, this is the leaf on the wind moment of you need to try and you're trying to deaden the impact without deadening yourselves. This is you trying to get a massive bestial airship to not just splat against the countryside. So you tell me how to make this epic.
The leaf on the wind is a great scene, but let's keep in mind how that scene ends.
I know the scene hasn't ended yet, but this is you can say leaf on the wind and we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Well, so the Coffee, you have a lot of background noise.
Yeah, his kitty was being rather insistent about feeding.
Well, they do that. Okay, so yeah, so leaf on the wind is I'm going to call it that from now on.
Okay.
Leaf on the wind is actually a staff spell. It's not something that I'm personally manifesting.
Okay.
So, what I have to do is I have to channel the power from the staff through me.
Okay.
So I'm channeling it through me, through the ship, and it's just very hard to maintain that focus in that way. So, it's just a lot of power, and it's not my power, it's reflected, so it's hard to do. So what I'm thinking is that the levitate, it kind of functions, but it's not very reliable. So don't think of it as leaf on the wind. Think of it more as like generations. Or okay, you're avoiding the bad spots. Maybe we can touch down in a, we can avoid that mountain range, we can avoid that ravine, but maybe we can touch down in a nice open field and maybe not hit too hard, just a little bit.
Gotcha. It's not leaf on the wind, it's managed
kinda the
decline. Okay.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Managed decline!
I have one. I have one other thing that I could try to possibly get us back up in the air.
I also could try to assist. I don't have levitate, but my staff has telekinesis, so I could probably just help Bright slow the descend using my wand as well, or my staff.
Oh, that'd be nice. Since your body doesn't work, maybe telekinesis is a good thing for you to try.
I just
so Bright
limply hug my staff and be like, "Hey, I'll help."
Is this staff of the Magi that you have, Bright?
No, I have
Staff of power for me.
Oh, staff of power. That's right. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was a staff of power for Bright. Bright, your staff, you pull and you almost just jam it into the fleshy console of the Repentless, and you're using it almost like a flight stick as you are drawing on your power, your knowledge, every bit of energy stored in this staff, trying to channel it through the Repentless. I want you to make an Arcana at advantage as you're shouting Serenity. Manage declined.
Wow, that's terrible. 22.
Do you want a +1?
Yeah, let's call it a 23. I'll use my +1.
We'll call it that. Norallie, you rush over as you're coherent again, and you are trying to add your power in with Bright's as she's using her staff almost like a flight stick in this gigantic bioship going down in the countryside. These quaint farmers have no idea what's happening.
I stand behind Bright and I put my staff of the Magi over both her and the staff and basically make a cross with it to help her pull back.
All right, so you're kind of and she. All right, so one of you has the X and one of you has the Y axis because I control the Z. All right. So I want you now, Norallie. You can make an Arcana at advantage as you are routing arcane power. Okay. And I would like a percentile with this as well.
Please not fireball on self. Please not fireball on self. Please not fireball on self.
I tell you right now, this is a 53.
96.
Ooh, 96.
96.
Oh my.
You and all creatures within 30 feet of you gain vulnerability to piercing damage. Leaf on the wind. Leaf. No, not that.
No.
All right. So, there is a flash, and the ship does come down. But what we'll do, and I know you just got back from getting up if it was tending the cat or whatnot, we are going to take a quick break, everyone. And when we come back, we will have the party's eyes open, find out what's happening. You will along with them. So I hope that you've enjoyed this first part. Stick with us. We'll take a 5-10 minute break, and we'll get back to what just happened, where's the Repentless, and make sure everyone made it. Cross fingers. See you back soon. And by the way, everyone, new break screen. Well, newish break screen. It got a little bit of a touch up. Hey, there it is. See you soon.